Hello guys, welcome back to another video. How are we all doing? I hope we're all doing well. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you my thoughts and opinions on dating apps. So dating apps have now become the most common way of people getting into relationships and meeting new people. Is it really the way that we should be living though? Is it really the way for social interaction, to finding the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, be the mother of your children, father of your child? You really want that person to be met for a dating app? So I'm going to give you my views and opinions on it and come to a bit of a conclusion. So for me, I've had somewhat experience on dating apps. I've used Tinder and Hinge a little, like, infrequently through the past few months, but for me, I haven't gained anything from it. I haven't met anyone through that. I think I've wasted a lot of time, really. And a lot of these people, it's just not really my type of thing at all. I've never really been into just like a hookup culture, and I've always definitely wanted to meet someone naturally, and obviously that's for a dating app, that's not natural at all, and it's obviously completely looks orientated. So yeah, that's why I'm not a massive fan. But my first point I want to make is they're extremely time consuming and addictive for a lot of people. For me, I found myself scrolling just aimlessly for 10 minutes. 10, 15 minutes at a time. Just through like all these girls. Maybe I did this 3-4 times a day. And there just wouldn't be any ROI on like my investment, like my time. I'd get absolutely nothing out of it. Particularly like when you begin to like get some matches and start messaging girls or men, whatever you're into. You're just constantly just checking to see if they've like replied, or if they've read your message, see what they're saying, and then you're spending a lot of time, I would anyway, thinking like, well, what can I say? Like, I've matched with this person. Is there something in their photo I could say? Or I don't really know what to say. What's the best thing to say? And that's just really time consuming. It wastes a lot of energy too. Particularly, say if I was at the gym, I'd be on my phone, and then I get like a message. It works for anything too. It'd be like, especially if it's a girl, you're like, oh, what shall I say? And when you're trying to like focus on something, say the gym or some work on a business or your studies or whatever, you don't really want this distraction. And that is a lot. It happens a lot, unfortunately, for stuff like dating apps. It's very distracting and time consuming. The second point I want to make is a big form of validation, particularly for women, I think. For me, it's evident a lot of women, they don't actually use like these dating apps. Like, I think if you like speak to girls, they don't really use them, and that's why a lot of them don't reply. And obviously they've just got like an abundance of just messages of like lads just wanting to message them, talk to them. And yeah, I think women, they kind of just want to see how big of a pool of men they can get in. Maybe they'll select 2 or 3 of the top men out there, and maybe they'll focus their energy on messaging them a little bit. They just want to kind of see how much messages they can get, how many matches, how much attention, because yeah, a lot of girls are thirsty, especially in this generation. And to be honest with you, even if they're like, say, not trying to be horrible or anything, but if they're 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10, they're probably going to get 10 times as many matches as a 7 out of 10 for a man. I just think that's just the way it is for dating apps, because let's be honest, it's a natural instinct for a man to just want to hook up. They want to fuck at the end of the day. So a lot of men will just match well below their standards. And then when it comes to women, they're only like choosing the top level guy because they've just got an abundance of options. So they're not going to choose like a beta male. They're not going to choose some guy right at the bottom who's got nothing to go from him. You've got to have like a good body. You've got to be looking good to even attract like these low level women at the end of the day. And the third point I want to make is you're not actually going out your comfort zone and talking to girls like naturally, how it's always been through like our whole generation. It's only been like the last 10 years when it's started to change, and for me, I don't like this at all. It's particularly bad for like a low confidence man, Like, I've been there and I've just hated it, like just not having the courage to go speak to a girl that I liked, I saw, maybe she was giving me eye contact too, and instead maybe I'd like go message them after if I had like their Instagram and stuff, and like it's just not the way to go, because we always think like behind the screen, the pain of rejection is like numbed somewhat and it doesn't feel as bad, but like it's not the way to go, guys. If you're like low on confidence, like it's a skill, and you need to master it and get better at it, and the only way you get better at stuff like this is practicing it. So that's what you got to do, as uncomfortable as it may feel. I've been there, I'm still working on it. It's something I want to improve a lot over this year, but I've definitely come a long way from the guy I was. So yeah, all I can do for you guys, if you're struggling with this, just trying to talk to girls, you just got to go out there and just speak to them as much as you can. If you see a girl, just don't think too much about what you're going to say. Just like go up, walk up, and then just say whatever comes to your mind. Maybe she's wearing something, or maybe she's doing something. Just like, you got to go talk to these people if you want to get better at it, if you're happy to sit behind the screen. But realistically, you're not going to meet the best woman or best man behind a screen. So yeah, if you want to find a high level person, then you need to be going out and approaching and talking to people. And my fourth point is related to that. I believe that I'm not going to find a high level woman on a dating app. I mean, it's possible, but for me, it's very unlikely. It's mainly like just hookup culture. I see dating apps as these days, and I wouldn't recommend going down that route. But if it's something that you want to do, get it out your system, then yeah, by all means, go for it. But I've like listened to a lot of people who've been through it, and they said like it's not worth it. I've somewhat done it, I guess, with like not on like a big scale or anything, but I've had like a hookup before, and it's just unfulfilling. And yeah, if you haven't been through that stage, I wouldn't recommend it. But some people say people want to try everything, which I'm completely understanding. I agree with a lot of that, but I don't think you'll really gain much from it. Maybe you'll gain knowledge and understanding of what you want and what you don't want. And maybe, especially if you're younger, you don't really know what you want, and it's something you're just going through, and yeah, you want to experience it, then yeah, fair play. But for me, I don't think I'm not going to meet the future mother of my child like on a dating app at the end of the day. So that's why like I'm not using them. Like I say, yeah, you got to be focused on other areas of your life, and I think like a lot of women will be focusing on becoming the best version of themselves to attract the best male. It's the same for a man. Obviously the men have to do a lot more work. I think that's clear and obvious to anyone. But yeah, they're not really going to be on this. They're just going to be like, for girls, like I've mentioned before in videos, it's completely down to beauty, or like 90%, I'd say, especially when they're younger. So if they can get that aspect of their life sorted out, have a bit of money, and they can take care of themselves and live a life that's good enough for them, going out and stuff, making themselves beautiful, and yeah, they will attract a good man. So they don't really need dating apps. So yeah, they're not going to be using them. But obviously, on the other hand, I've seen people that have got into relationships through dating apps, and there's been a lot of success stories. People have found the person that they feel like they've always wanted to be with. So there's clearly some evidence out there that suggests that they can work for certain people. But I believe a lot of these stories, they're kind of people who are over 30 plus. And I believe that it's normally when the women start to panic a bit. Maybe they're getting past 30 and they're like, shit, I've not got a family, I've not got kids, my career's not going too well, like I kind of need to like find someone. Maybe they're not the best looking, and it's not the person they really, when they were 18, 20 years old, thought they would be with for the rest of their lives. But they're like, well, my clock's ticking and it's only going to get harder and harder as I get a bit older. I'm not as beautiful as I used to be. I've not got so much going for me. So yeah, they'll probably just kind of settle for someone who can provide for them, and that's fair enough if that's what they want to do. I completely understand it, and I think the man's getting a good deal with that too, particularly if they're aging too, and they've got past the age of the 36, which is when the male advantage kicks in. Maybe they're 40, 45, and yeah, they've generated a good amount of money. They've got their life set up. Maybe they've been hitting the gym. They've got a good physique, so yeah, they're more than happy to take a good looking woman who they probably wouldn't have been able to get when they were 20, 30 years old. So yeah, I think that's how that normally works when it becomes to people like finding the person, that finding someone to be with long term on like a dating app. That's from my experiences of what I've seen as how it works. Obviously, maybe there's the odd case people 20 and that happens, but generally I think that's how it happens. So I'm personally against dating apps, and I don't use them anymore. I will never use them again, because the person I want to be, I don't want to be someone who has to use dating apps to get women. I want to meet them naturally, and I want to find my future wife, and I want to meet her naturally too. So yeah, I always try and be intentional and mindful when you're using these type of things, guys. Let me know your views on dating apps in the comments. If you could like, share, subscribe to my channel, greatly appreciate it. Like I say, I'm going to get a new video out every single day for the rest of January. So any ideas of stuff you want me to cover, I'm more than happily get that out for you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, guys. Peace.